Welcome back to another installment of Caleb's Corner. I am your host, Caleb Cantu. And as always, I do what I do. Now, I'm just kidding, guys. Let's go straight into it. Today's episode is going to be a quick and easy one. As a host of Caleb's Corner, I've had a lot of people ask me, Caleb, how do you start a podcast? Well, today, I'm going to show you. Today's episode is how to start a podcast. Let's get right into it. When I wanted to start Caleb's Corner, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. You know, to be 100% honest with you, you kind of just decide that you want to get the word out there about what you're interested in. Personally, I like to talk. You know, I always have, and I probably always will. So I found that in talking, it's nice to talk to someone, you know, but when you're starting a podcast, you really got to think about who you're talking to. So the first thing you want to do is formulate an idea of what you want your podcast to be about. Specifically, I like to preach, or I wouldn't even say preach, maybe just put out there that you got to do what you love that makes you happy, you know? So I've always loved movies, I've always loved music, I've always loved television. So I incorporated all of those things into a podcast where I could talk about them openly and have a community discourse with people who enjoy the same things as me. Because no matter what, bro, or sis, you're going to find so many people out there that like the same exact thing that you do. I promise you. They're out there, you know, you just got to put yourself out there. And that's kind of scary. And that's another one of the big things that you got to just adjust to when you're going to start a podcast is that you're putting yourself out there for the world to see, right? Now, that can be a great thing or that can be a bad thing. It just kind of depends on how you look at it. For me, it's opened up a lot of doors, and I'm super, super happy that I took the chance. But I was really scared for a long time, and I was a lot of talk for a long, long time. There was a point where there was just a few months I talked about it. I didn't do anything to make it happen, right? So you just got to start. Start somewhere. And if you're interested, I think you should just take the leap. Do a little bit of research about what you think you should talk about. So I talk about movies, I talk about music, I talk about television, and the things that are going on in this world, and I incorporate that into a podcast. So for you, you know, if you like art, maybe talk about art, how you started painting, how you like to paint, the style of painting that you do. If you like music, maybe you can do a podcast about the different artists that you listen to, a certain genre or subtopic. You want to make sure that your topic of conversation is not too broad. So you don't want to just talk about music and everything that's related to music. You want to talk about maybe a subgenre of music, how this particular genre is made and the culture and country that it comes out of. And then you want to start talking about how it was made there and the history behind it. And then you can branch into more things because as your audience grows, so will your topics, right? And that's really just kind of how I started, right? I literally started on doing one movie, and it was going to be like a review / commentary type of thing. And now I've incorporated movies, music, television, and more into all of my episodes. So as you grow and as your fan base grows, so should your podcast. Second thing you should do is think about what kind of name and title you want to give your podcast. My podcast is called Caleb's Corner. I'm a huge fan of alliteration. I think the reason why is because growing up I was very into comic books and superheroes. You got Peter Parker. You got Clark Kent, right? I had a lot of inspiration in those ways just because of the alliteration. I like the way that similar sounding words sound together. It's just pleasing to my ears. So when I thought of Caleb's Corner, I thought it was an excellent way to describe my show because it's me talking about the things that I love and welcoming you into a space that's open, free of judgment, and celebrates life and all things positive. Caleb's Corner. You know, it works for me. Find something that works for you. Doesn't have to be alliteration. It can be anything. You know, Joe Rogan Experience. You got so many other podcasts out there. Can't think of any off the top of my head right now. But there's a million. And each of their names just give a little bit about what the podcast is about. So you want to pick a name that kind of references that. So second thing you got to get into is really just your show and episode format. And that kind of just leads into all things relating to one episode. So for an episode of Caleb's Corner, you guys already know how it starts. We got our beautiful intro music produced by Isaac Semlinger, aka Kaiza. We got our amazing video intros produced and edited by Charles Knotts. You already know, is my boy, is my dog. You guys are going to have to figure out your own thing. Now, for someone who's just starting, don't really have a lot of people who can make a beat for you, or you wanted to add music, but you don't really know where to go, there's a really good podcast music website called Premium Beat. Now, you can either pay for the subscription and get a whole bunch of different samples that you can put on your podcast, or you can just go to some free websites on Google, right? Royalty-free music. That's all you have to do. Search that, and boom. There's a bunch of music that you can choose from, and it's already made. All you got to do is grab it and upload it. Now, once you get your music, your intro, all that set, you want to make sure that you're figuring out what your cover art looks like. You have to have a name. So Caleb's Corner, my logo is 2 C's and it makes a corner. Now that's lit. Charles Knotts came up with that. I had nothing to do with that. That was all the creative mind of Charles. I was trying to find something cool. And literally, if you were there from the beginning and you saw what my logo looked like at the beginning, it was not nearly as good as what I have now. And it's literally on all of my shirts. I'm going to turn around real quick. It's on all of my merch, right? It's super nice. Get it from that angle. And you can buy this stuff too. So that's another thing. Once you get a cool name, once you get a good logo, you can start selling merch. To be 100% honest with you, this stuff is probably all I wear now. You know, even if nobody buys it, you're still representing your brand. You're still showing people that you're doing something and that you want them to be interested. And if it's good quality and it's nice looking stuff, people are going to be interested. You know, you kind of have to start something for yourself and build it up. And once it becomes good quality and once it becomes something that's attractive, people are just going to be attracted to it. So just keep grinding on that aspect, right? So you got your name, you got your topic, what you want to talk about, and now you're going to have to find excuse me, you're going to have to get some equipment. What I'm personally using right now is the Blue Yeti microphone. Now, to be honest with you, this is a little bit more of an expensive option. So you don't necessarily have to use this specific microphone. If you want your audio to sound crispy, then yeah, I definitely recommend that you use this. And if you like the audio here on Caleb's Corner, say thank you to Blue, because we do what we do here, you know? So I really recommend this microphone. If you don't necessarily need something super expensive, but you do want to do maybe something wireless, we have this great option here. It's a Movo Lavalier mic. This was awesome. I got it from Amazon. This is a really great brand, and the quality of the microphone is unparalleled. It's really useful when you're doing things mobily, when you're doing things on the go. I really recommend this one as well. And then that's all you really need for a podcast. Caleb's Corner here, we're multidimensional, right? We're breaking barriers here, baby. We got a YouTube channel. Charles Knotts is out here. He's my director. He's my director of visual aid. He comes in here and he sets you up. He makes me look good. I don't really look this handsome in real life. Just kidding. Yes, I do. But I look even more handsome thanks to Charles. And that's all because of what he brings to the table. So if you don't have someone like Charles in your life, you don't even got to worry about it. You'll get there. Okay? God hasn't blessed you with the man that is Charles in your life yet. But I have been. All right? So we're up there. All you really need are the microphones. And once you get a good quality microphone, you're going to take off. Because it's all about the audio quality. It's all about the crispiness of your voice. Do you guys like my voice? Should I start doing ASMR? I don't know. Maybe I should. I could if I wanted to, because I got the microphones for it, right? So boom. Now you got your microphone. You got your topic. You got what you want to talk about. You got your name. And you got your cover art. So now you're really going to have to start getting into recording and editing. For a lot of people, recording and editing is really hard. And it sometimes takes a lot of time, and it can be kind of confusing. So there is a free website which you can go to edit all of your stuff. Honestly, guys, I mean, if you have GarageBand, it's not that bad. GarageBand is a really, really good program, and it's come a really long way. You can do a lot of things with GarageBand, and I promise you, it's a really great place to start. But if you don't have that option, there's a really good option called Alitu. Oh my gosh. It's a pretty cool website. Basically, it's free. You upload your, it's free for 7 days. Get a 7-day trial, and then you have to pay a subscription. But if you're looking for something that does everything for you, this website is the go-to. You just upload your podcast audio, and then it does all the editing for you. And you can change the levels. You can make your voice sound different. It's a really good tool if you don't want to use GarageBand. But I honestly think that GarageBand is a perfectly acceptable way to edit your audio. It's very helpful. It's free, and you can add music if you really want to as well. So boom. You got all of your equipment set up. You got your microphones. You got your cover art. You got your music for your intro. All you need to do now is just record your first episode. Now, this is going to take a couple tries. I honestly think that that's totally okay, because you're going to stumble and you're going to fall a couple times. But you want to start out running, right? It's something that you're going to do for yourself. If you want to start a podcast, I 100% fully endorse it and support you. And if you need help, if you have questions, feel free to hit me up. Caleb can too. You can literally hit me up on any platform at Caleb's Corner Pod. It's that simple, right? If you have questions, let me know. But record your first episode and then upload it. And ask for feedback. It's very important to hear what your audience thinks, because they're the ones listening. You can do something for yourself, and I love that and I support that. But if your objective is to get people to listen, then you have to A, speak about something people want to hear, and then B, get their feedback so that way you can grow, adapt, and become better. Once you get that feedback, boom, you need somewhere to upload it. So I personally, for my podcast host, I use Simplecast. Simplecast.com is a pretty easy website. Now, you can do it for free, or you can do a subscription trial for 7 days and then see how you like it. But I've really enjoyed Simplecast. Basically, what it does is it is a podcast host website where you upload the audio that you have edited, where you've recorded your first episode, and if you do the subscription base, it gives you access to more platforms. But if you do the free, it's just a podcast host website. So people can go to simplecast.com/whatever your podcast name. So for me, people can go to simplecast.com/Caleb's Corner Podcast. And on there would be all of my audio, everything, every description, all my cover art for my podcast, and people can go and listen to it. I pay the subscription. So all of my podcasts is available on Apple Podcast platform and Spotify platform. And that's just to get more options available to everybody who can listen. I've even taken it a step further as to enlist mine into Amazon Podcasts. So that's a new platform that's up and coming, but it'll be here soon. It's really just about how much you want to get your podcast out there. It's totally fine to just have a podcast host website and send people the link. It's a good way to get it. It's a good way to get it started. And really, it's just about starting, because once you start, it's really just a ball rolling from there. You get better and better and better. If you guys looked at my first episode, which I totally think you should, go all the way back. Thank you. Appreciate that. Like and subscribe. You can tell that we're not at the level that we are now. And that's just because you keep growing, you keep doing better, you keep going. Once you got everything uploaded, you got to start promoting it. Social media. You can do Audible. You can even do Buzzsprout. Like, they have a function that allows people to see your podcast. You just have to upload your audio there. It's a really nice way to get the word out and draw in a bigger audience, because everybody has their cold connections. That's their family, their friends. But you really want to start growing exponentially. Exponentially is the goal. Something that everybody can take with them. So those are really the basic steps, guys. You got to come up with the topic, something that you think people will want to listen to. Make it a broad subject, but not so broad that you're going off topic for 15 minutes. You want to be narrowed in and focused on what you enjoy, so that way it's something that you can be prosperous doing. You want to get some cover art, you want to get some intro music, and then you want to get some equipment. We've listed all the options here and we'll put them in the description, and I think you guys should look into this equipment. But after that, you record your first audio, you edit your audio, upload it to your podcast website, your podcast host website, and then after that, you start promoting it. And like I said, you can get some merch too. It's really fun and cool way to promote your podcast, and if people like it, you can start selling it. And this is available in my Caleb's Corner store. It is in all of my links. You can buy this one today for $35. I got white, I got green, and I got black. These are really nice shirts, great quality, and I've already sold out of my short sleeves. So it's definitely not a bad way to promote your podcast and see who's supporting you. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Those are the steps. I've given you the tools. It is now up to you what you do with them. So thanks again for listening. Please watch, like, and subscribe. As always, I'm Caleb Cantu. I appreciate you. And this was How to Start a Podcast with Caleb's Corner. Goodbye.